Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the North Star Sports Talk podcast. I'm your host, Connor.
And I'm Carter. And today we're joined by a very special guest. He's a big Minnesota Wild fan. And introduce yourself.
Yeah, everybody, I'm Jack, Carter's roommate, and I'm a big Wild fan. I'm pretty excited about the Quinn Hughes acquisition. And the Wild have had a couple tough losses, but hopefully we can get back to it tonight against the Lightning.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Today's episode, all about the Minnesota Wild. So, Connor, kick us off.
This season for the Minnesota Wild has been kind of a bit of a shock to me, at least. It's in a good way. I mean, we've kind of been rolling so far this season. We're sitting at number 3 right now in the Western Conference, just behind the Dallas Stars. And it started off a little rough. The season, kind of just like the Wolves, the season for the Wild started off pretty rough. I think they were at one point like 8 games under 500, and then just like went on an insane streak. I think they won like 7 games in a row, and then they won probably 20 of their last 25 games or something, and then it was just all up from there. And yeah, we got healthy, and then just kind of we got injured for a little while, but we were still winning games. I think we had at one point 5 or 6 guys out of the lineup, and we're still winning. So that was very solid. I can't remember what part of the season that was. I think that was in December-ish, probably.
Yeah, and a big part of our success has been the Quinn Hughes trade. Jack, do you want to talk a little bit about how you've been liking Quinn Hughes?
Yeah, Quinn Hughes has been a huge boost to our team, especially in points and assists. He's usually getting one or two assists a night pretty consistently. And that top pairing with Brock Faber there, that's been a great defensive pairing. So it's been very good. And then tonight's big news is Jonas Brodin is coming back. It looks like he will be paired with Jared Spurgeon, which pushes Damian Hunt out of the lineup. But we have a solid defensive core ready to go tonight against a very high-powered offensive Lightning team led by Nikita Kucherov.
Yes, very, very, very big matchup tonight, and this is on March 3rd as we are recording this episode. So Tuesday, March 3rd against the Lightning. I will be at the game, actually, so I will have firsthand accounts of how tonight goes, especially Jonas Brodin's return. We shall see how he fares. I mean, he doesn't score a lot, but he's a solid defenseman, so...
Especially on the penalty kill, too, he's very important for us.
Yes, absolutely. I would agree with that. Carter, you have another question?
Yeah. Just want to mention the Lightning right now. They are sitting on top of the Atlantic Division, 38-16-4, 80 points on the season. Second in the Eastern Conference. So, they're a very good team. We have 80 points. They have 80 points. We're pretty even with them. We'll see what tonight has in store.
Yes.
And if we're getting crushed by them, we got to get you out on the ice, You got to score some goals for us.
Yep.
Since you'll be there anyway.
Yeah, call me down to the ice. I'll get a few goals in there.
You'd body slam a couple guys too, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so Jack, I know you talked a little bit about the Quinn Hughes trade, and obviously that's been big for the Wild this season. But the trade deadline is coming up soon. You got any any crazy takes or any big takes that you think are going to happen in the trade deadline? Even for the Wild or any team really.
Well, that's a good question, Connor. Bill Guerin, our general manager, has been very vocal about continuing to put the Wild in a good position and go after guys. A couple of guys that have been mentioned have been Vincent Trocheck from the New York Rangers, but I recently heard that he has family out east, and so he wants to stay out east, so he will likely not be coming to any Western teams. But the other guy I did hear about recently was Robert Thomas of the St. Louis Blues, and he is a very good forward, has done historically very well against us. So maybe we'll get a Central Division foe player from the St. Louis Blues. Those are the 2 guys I've heard about, though.
Yes, we signed a Blues player yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Who was that? It was kind of a no name player, but I think
A little under the radar.
Yeah. Yeah, what was his name again? Do you any of you remember?
I did not see that. I think Jack has got us. He's looking
Looking
that
it
up
up
right
right now.
now. But yeah, anytime you sign a player from a rival team like that, you hope they give you some juice, especially against that team, you know.
Yep.
Little revenge game whenever we face the Blues.
Absolutely, because well, we did lose to them on Sunday. That was a rough.
That was rough.
that
Yep.
was a rough game.
It looks like we were acquired Michael McCarron, a forward from the Nashville Predators, for a 2028 second-round pick. So we'll see if he gets into the lineup.
From the Predators, you said?
That's what it looks like I'm seeing.
When did that happen?
It says March 3rd, so
Oh, today.
yeah.
Huh.
Ooh, dang.
We must have
Bill Gurham is a very active general manager, so you never know what he's cooking up over there.
even just having depth is huge.
Oh, yes.
Like even if they don't like, I mean, even if we don't get a crazy like good player, like oh that's the biggest player, like a Quinn Hughes kind of player,
Right.
but just getting like a smaller player that can like jump on like the third, fourth lines for us and
And
get
that's a good point. We have generally performed very well when our fourth line has been doing well, with the likes of Jakob Trenjan and Hinostroza. When those players score a goal or assist, it helps the team mightily, and usually we do very well. So depth is huge.
yeah, that trade actually happened 42 minutes ago.
Okay.
That was just that
Dang.
just happened. So the recent trade. Yeah, it says here the New York Times says Wild acquire Michael McCarron, sending a second rounder to the Predators for the 6'6" center. So a center is huge. We need centers,
Oh, of course.
especially because we can't seem to win faceoffs. But
Yeah, well, Joel Eriksson is usually very good, but he struggled last night or 2 nights ago against the Blues.
yeah, he did struggle a lot.
Lost a lot of faceoffs, so hopefully he can do better tonight.
Yeah, the Lightning have insane firepower with Kucherov. They have
Braden Point.
Braden Point. Yeah.
I think Hedman's still playing.
Who does Hagel play for? Brandon Hagel.
I think is he still with the Lightning?
Brandon Hagel. I think he's plays for the Lightning too. But let me check here really quick. Brandon Hagel. Yeah, he does play for the Lightning. Yep. So, yeah.
Jake Getzel is another one.
Oh yeah.
Who's been a very consistent performer. But it's ultimately led by Nikita Kucherov, who is a MVP front runner right now, along with Nathan McKinnon. So you just got to be aware whenever he's on the ice.
And they have goaltending in Andrei Vasilevsky.
Yeah,
He's been very, very good again this season. He kind of fell off like last season. He was a little rough, and then this season he's been lights out again. So
Yeah, for sure. He has one of the best save percentages, if not the best right now. I'm just looking it up here.
wow, looks like he has a .916 save percentage
Yep,
and just over 2 goals against average
and that is right.
in this season. So. And has a 28-8-3 record with 2 shutouts.
Wow.
So definitely a solid goalie. And though, I mean, also those shutouts can also be attributed to their defense too. I mean, the Lightning have incredible defense. I mean, I kind of respect the Lightning myself. I mean, I'm obviously not a Lightning like big fan or anything. I'm a Wild fan, but the Lightning definitely have a place in my heart for respect, and you know they're a great team down there, and it's always fun watching them. So anytime they come to town, it's fun to go to games against the Lightning. So
Yeah, for sure. They were very dominant in like 2020, 2021. I think they won 2 Stanley Cups in a row, 2 or 3. And they kind of fell off a little bit, but they're kind of coming back now, led by John Cooper behind the bench. Very great coach Team Canada. Ultimately lost to the United States, but yeah, the key for the Wild tonight is going to be to get off to a fast start.
yes,
Because what happened in Utah was we got behind very quickly and just could not catch up. So got to start fast and put pressure on that Lightning core.
yeah, the Lightning and the Lightning are an incredibly fast team too. So that's definitely got to keep up with their speed. As the Wild did with the Avs just a few nights ago or last week, whenever it was on Thursday, I think, when they played at their pace and they ended up beating them. So
Yeah, with these good teams, you got to kind of stay a goal ahead or even with them, because if you fall behind early, it's very hard to get back into the game.
yeah, absolutely.
Especially with the defense that the Lightning have. It'll be challenging to, score any goals, but we do have firepower. We have lots of firepower, so hopefully
Yep.
we can get it done. Looking ahead at the next few games for the Wild, though, we got some tough matchups. After the Lightning, we have the Golden Knights, Avalanche, and Mammoth. Those are our next 3 games.
Ooh.
And we've already lost 2 in a row. So hopefully we can squeak out some wins against some tough, gritty opponents, because the season's coming down to the line here. Jack, how do you think the rest of the season is going to go for us? How do you think we end the season, finish it off?
Well, I think we're in a bit of a skid right now. And sometimes, those Central Division foes, like I was saying earlier, can be some of the hardest games, even if they're not the greatest teams. So I think we just need to get back to who we are, and hopefully we can finish strong down the stretch. We'll have to see how the Wild do, but I do think if we are healthy and we play our style of hockey, we're going to be very hard to beat here down the stretch.
Yes, I would agree with that, definitely. And what's really tough is right now the Stars are playing incredible hockey right now. They've won 9 straight games.
Wow.
So they currently we're behind them in the standings now again, and they have 1 game on us. They've played 1 less game, and they're up by 3 points. So
That is
that-
right.
So we need a win, and they need to lose tonight. They're playing the Flames, which is not a great opponent, but having won 9 straight, they're due for a loss here coming up soon. So hopefully that is tonight, and hopefully the Wild are due for a win after a couple straight losses. We usually tend to play Tampa pretty well. I remember like a few years ago, I went to a Wild game against Tampa, and we beat them, and I think it was kind of the similar like standings to where they are now. I think the Lightning were like super good. That was like when they like had their cup years, and we ended up beating them by like 3 goals. So we usually play those teams pretty well. So hopefully that continues tonight, and we will see. But yeah, like I said, the Stars have been playing incredible hockey, so we have to also make sure to keep up with them, and we'll most likely end up facing them first round of the playoffs. I mean, I imagine, unless there's a huge fall off by either team late in the year. But the 3 versus 2 matchup is always really good, but it's going to really depend on seeding too, because, I mean, if we get that 2nd seed, we'll be able to host and have home ice. But if we get that 3rd seed, we'll be going to Dallas for the first 2 games of the series, which could be tough to win. But honestly, call me crazy, this is a hot take, but I would not mind having that 3rd seed and going to Dallas for the first couple games, because there's an opportunity to steal a game.
That is true.
And honestly, as long as we don't have to play the Avalanche, if we can play the Stars instead of the Avalanche, that's huge. We just did beat the Avalanche, but would we be able to stick out a whole series with them is what I'm wondering. And honestly, I have my doubts.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, if we have to we face the Stars, and if we get past them, then we'd probably, unless the Avalanche lose first round, we'd be facing the Avalanche next round, which would be very tough to go from the Stars to the Avs.
That is true.
I am looking at the standings right now, and Colorado is atop the West with 89 points. And so they are projected right now, if the season were to end, to play Edmonton, who is the last wild card. So Edmonton is not doing the best, but they have gone to the Stanley Cup, I think, the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be an interesting draw for Colorado, the Edmonton Oilers, in a wild card position right now. So it wouldn't be your typical Mammoth or San Jose Nashville team, where they would definitely get by easily. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out too.
Absolutely. Connor McDavid definitely knows how to turn it up in the playoffs. So
For sure.
I could definitely see Avalanche kind of falling to Edmonton. And then if that's the case, then if we'd faced Edmonton second round, we tend to have their number. So if
I think we beat them recently by a large margin.
Yeah, I think we swept the season series against them. I think we
Okay.
played them like twice or 3 times and beat them every time. So All I'm saying is if the Wild make it to the playoffs and make it past Dallas, and if we face Edmonton second round, we could make a conference finals run.
Yeah, the Wild are kind of in a unique spot because we're really only chasing Dallas right now. Colorado's so far ahead of us, and we're so far ahead of the wild card teams that we're kind of just stuck in the middle right now. So I think the key for us is to stay healthy, keep playing good hockey, and just kind of get ready for Dallas. It looks like.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because as long as we can stay healthy, we should be a lock on facing Dallas in that series, whether we get home ice or away first. But I mean, you never know. I mean, something could happen to either team. I mean, because the Mammoth have been like super hot lately, and they're in the top wildcard spot, but they're still like 10 points behind us, I think.
14 actually.
14 points.
So
wow.
A lot of games behind.
That's like 7 games.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. So yeah, barring a huge fall off from the Wild or the Stars, then that is basically a lock.
Yeah, for sure.
But seeding is not a lock, though. Like I said before, that's definitely still up for grabs. I mean, 3 points and a game. Let's say they win that game, they're 5 points ahead of us. That's still only 2.5 games, which can be made up.
I would say it would be a lot easier to say that, though, if the Stars hadn't won 9 in a row, and we've lost 2 in a row. So although it's still very possible, the chances are kind of unlikely considering the directions both teams are going right now and how tough the Wild schedule is these next few games. So, you hope you see it. You could see it, but, we're facing Dallas either way, most likely. So
Yeah.
we just got to look forward to that.
The big thing that I'm looking forward to is the games we have remaining against the Stars, because we still play them twice, I believe.
That's right.
Because we've played them twice this season so far. We lost the first game and then beat them, same score, 5-2, both games. So, looking forward to the upcoming games against Dallas, because that could be a preview to the playoff matchup and see how we match up with them. But, the Stars are really good. I mean, they got incredible depth and incredible young guys. I mean, they're always good. The Stars have always been good. They tend to not they haven't really won a cup in a while. They're kind of one of those like Yankees teams. I mean, you think of the Yankees, this is baseball, but still, the Yankees are usually always good in their regular season. They make a fairly deep playoff run, but they just can't quite make it to the World Series and win. So
That's right. There's a lot of teams that, they can make the playoffs, do great in regular season, and then they just don't really clutch up in the playoffs. And you think of those clutch players that have their playoff moments, for the Wolves, you will see Anthony Edwards probably going to win clutch player of the year. And you look at this Wild roster, and Jack, do you see any of these players possibly being a clutch player for us in the playoffs this year?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Matt Boldy is playing incredible hockey right now. I think he's going to be hard to defend. And then, you just got Quinn Hughes and Kirill Kaprizov, and they are just built for the moment, especially Quinn Hughes, overtime winner in the Olympics for Team USA. So when we get to these big pressure moments, or we're in overtime in the playoffs, those guys really need to come alive. And Quinn Hughes plays a lot of ice time. So if it's in overtime, you'll see him out there a lot, especially in the playoffs. I do have a question for you, Carter. Grand Casino Arena has historically been one of the harder places to play. Our fans get very into it. Are you looking forward to seeing playoff hockey in the state of Minnesota coming up here?
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited. I haven't really been into hockey this year. I kind of got into it, so I'm looking forward to, seeing the difference between the atmosphere, regular season, and playoffs. Maybe, I'll go to a playoff game, check it out for myself. I'm just really hyped for how this team's going to finish and to see if we can make a run at it.
Yeah, actually, Jack, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to, you were talking about Matt Boldy a little bit. How have you liked his play this season? I know you talked a little bit about it, but how have you liked what you've seen from how he's kind of completely come alive this year, scoring. He's one of the top scorers in the league right now.
Yeah, actually, I think he has more goals than Kirill Kaprizov in the NHL right now. He's just very strong on the boards. If you ever watch him, he does not lose a lot of board battles, so he can sneak by guys. His puck handling skills are off the charts, and usually he will find the open guy. So it'll be interesting to see how John Hines rolls the lines. I know Kaprizov and Boldy are on two separate lines, but when you get down in the clutch minutes there, you'll sometimes see Boldy and Kaprizov out there together, just because they're so good with passing the puck and winning those board battles.
Yeah, I was actually leading into that. What do you think about that, the being on different lines? Because I know usually Kaprizov's on that first line with Ek and Eriksson Ek and Zuccarello. How do you like that, like Zuccarello being on the first line over Boldy?
Yeah, it's interesting. Actually, right now the top line has been Kaprizov, Ryan Hartman, and Matt Zuccarello. Kaprizov and Matt Zuccarello have been pretty consistent up on the top line there. And then you got Joel Eriksson Ek, Marcus Johansson, and Matt Boldy on the second line. I think that just helps even it out a little bit, because if you had Boldy and Kaprizov on the top line, you'd see a pretty big drop off there. Joel Eriksson Ek is very good, but you also need help. At least two players that can do it together. So
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. Daniil Yurov was on the top line for a while instead of Ryan Hartman, but it looks like he's on the third line now. Ryan Hartman has been playing better, so we'll see if he can keep that up.
Yeah, Hartman has been scoring definitely a lot more this year than last year.
Yeah.
Especially early on in the season, he had a lot of goals. And Kaprizov, I mean, he's been scoring this season, but definitely like not as much as like past years, maybe even last year. But like it seems like he's kind of passed the rock to Boldy very well, because I mean Kaprizov still scores. I mean, you see him in overtime, he's always the one to really do that and score the overtime winner. And he'll have a game where he'll have one or two goals here and then. But I mean, Boldy is really the consistent one. I mean, he'll consistently have like a goal a game, or like even I think he had a hat trick earlier in the season, and just really came alive this year, and just great to see. And even Faber has been great defensively, just blocking shots, and Spurgeon will have like a few blocks a game, and just really big for defense for us. Yep. But we'll see how that test comes tonight against the Lightning, because I mean, with all, like we were talking about earlier, with all their offensive power, the Wild could be having to block a lot of shots tonight. And I believe Gustafson's going to be in net most likely tonight. So we'll see how he fares against the Lightning. I mean, he's been solid in net as well this season. So
that's right. Well, we're kind of running out of time because Connor's got to get to the actual Wild game here. But one last question for both of you boys. How do you see this game turning out tonight? Any final score predictions?
I'll go first here. So,
yeah.
My bias in me wants to say like, oh, it's going to be like 5-3 Wild or something.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a decently high scoring game. I don't think it's going to be like a 2-1 game. I think it's going to be more like a 5-3 type game. I'm going to say like 5-3 Wild, just because I think the Wild are going to like come out angry after the two unnecessary losses that they had the past couple of games. So I think they're going to come out angry. But, I could definitely see the other way around too. I could see the Lightning coming out with the firepower they have been and winning. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say, 5-3 Wild.
Sweet.
Yeah, those are good predictions. I mean, very good. Two good offenses. I think it's going to come down to how you defend, and even more importantly, the goaltending. Whoever has the better goalie could very easily end up winning this game. That's part of why we struggled against the Blues. They didn't even have Jordan Binnington, but their backup just played lights out, and we had a hard time getting pucks past them. So if Vasilevsky is on his game, that's going to be tough to beat. But Connor, you have fun at the game, and let us know how it goes.
Absolutely. You got a final score prediction? I gave mine.
I think it might go to overtime, and I think the Wild might win in overtime.
Ooh, that's a solid pick.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's going to be high scoring, or you think it's going to be?
I'm going like medium, kind of 4-3 maybe. 4-3 Wild.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, that's a valid take. I think I would appreciate that. Overtime wins are always so fun. So
For sure. And
overtime,
at least we get a point, if nothing else. So
yeah, that is true. We need all the points we can get. So
for sure.
yeah. We appreciate you, Jack, coming on and giving your takes on the Wild and giving your insights to the season.
Yes, thanks for all your knowledge.
Well, thank you.
Very
Guys.
insightful.
I'm honored to join you, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Well, that does it for this episode on the North Star Sports Talk podcast. And we will see you on the next episode where we'll be talking about the Twins because their season is coming up soon. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. It'll be exciting.
it is getting warmer, so spring is coming.
You can feel it in the air. Baseball season.
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. We will see you next episode.